Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where we are currently in Tulliyolal, before the second half of a main story quest begins. And I wanted to do all kinds of side quests with Mid City before the big thing happens. The one thing I will not do is that quest back there with a curious corn, because that is a quest chain that leads you through the entirety of the Dawntrail areas, and I will not do that now. That will be separate. I focus on Tulliyolal specific quests today. And we begin with the inattentive Culinarian. You were on that ship that pulled into port just now, weren't you not? I have a favor to ask. I'm expecting a shipment addressed to Auntie's Tacos, but I fear it may have been unloaded on the southern pier by mistake. I'd ever be so grateful if you could speak with your crew for me. I need to be getting back to open the shop, but if you do manage to find it, please bring it over. I'll see to it you're paid for the delivery, I promise. A shipment for Auntie's. Got it right, Yokos. Not sure what you were told, but all inputs from Eorzea are unloaded on this side. That Culinarian makes some great tacos, but I'll be damned if he can pay attention to half the words I say to him. His order's packed and ready in the crate there, but bugger me if it ain't heavy. And I'm slowed down because the crate is so heavy. You found it, thank the gods. I don't know what I would have done had my cookbook's been left on the dock back in Limsa Lominsa. What luck that I could flag down such a hospitable deckhand. I'm not a deckhand. Wait, what do you mean you're not part of a crew? I thought you came into port with my books. Otakusland gets a lot of tourists, so I thought I'd import some cookbooks from your culinary capital and brush up on foreign food culture. Who knows? One of these days I might just invent an Eorzean style taco. Anyway, my apologies for the misunderstanding. As payment, take these freshly made tacos on the house. Tacos al pastor. Pelu Pelu Peddler. Special orders, special deliveries. Oh, I'm in a pickle. Can't exactly deliver the order if I'm lost now, can I? Curse these twisting streets. You there, with your decidedly unflappable composure. You know your way around these streets, yes? Could you pay a visit to my customers and let them know I've brought their orders? Brilliant. Now, you'll be looking for two different houses in the Resplendent Quarter. The first has blue and yellow walls with feather decorations that hang from the eaves. The man who lives there is a very eloquent Hanuhanu. The second is home to a rather Ferocious moblin. You're looking for sky blue walls with yellow rooftop, a storehouse and decorative vases out front. Blue and yellow walls with feather decorations. And the second is a blue house with yellow roof and pots out front. You don't look right. Well, I wouldn't call it yellow, but might be this? No, this is locked. It's the yellow roof.
Ah, special order of mold flour, I see at last. Now I have all the ingredients to crafty bake the loaves of rat bread. Have you heard of mold flour? Mixy blend of wheat and mycotoxins with a sweet stinky smell in Earthenshire. All breads and cookies are craft baked with it. Essential element of traditional Mobi cuisine. Since stingy shopkeepers in Tulliyolal refused to stock it, my only option was to bulky buy with a Pelu goods bearer. Now to go and bring back my package. Many thanks to kind lowlander.
Yeah. Dear me, you mean to say my packages arrived? I had some dried reeds imported from Okano, you see. Ordered them as soon as I heard the crops had recovered. Though I may live in Tulliyolal now, I always keep my homeland close to heart. To Hanu like myself, there's no greater comfort than the smell of reeds when I walk through the door. Speaking of which, I'd better go fetch them, hadn't I? There are a few areas that could do with a bit of touching up. So this quest probably requires that you finish the first area quest, the first part of Ukopasha and Kosamoka. I see you managed to find them. Thanks to you, the packages have safely reached my customers' hands. Boss? Claws? In the meantime, I've been browsing Bayside Bevy. The shops here have all the most common daily necessities, along with a variety of goods from other far-flung corners of Tyrol. But Tulliyolal is a melting pot of cultures with their own unique needs, and sometimes the limited section here doesn't cut it. That's where we come in. As peddlers, we travel to those distant locales, buy the most sought-after goods and deliver them to the residents here. For price, mind. Speaking of travel, did you come here from Eorzea by chance? I've yet to venture out there for import goods, but one of these days I might just have to make the trip. Oh, and before I forget, your fee. Hovulja. Hey you're not busy, are you? Earlier we got word that a shipment of parts has come in, so I sent my trainee to fetch them, but he's still not back yet. Could I trouble you to pay a visit to the junkmonger in Bayside Bevy and ask if a young Etsaru has been by? I'm in the middle of something here. Okay, junkmonger. The trainee mechanic from the dirigible landing? No, I'm afraid I haven't seen him today. Might be as he took the scenic route, as he's often known to do. Seeing as you're looking for him, you may as well take the delivery along with you. Knowing Hovulja, he won't be satisfied until both are brought to him. As for where his young charge might be, I often see him at the pier at high tide harbor, gazing out at sea. Like as not, you'll find him there now. Sorry, I was lost in thought. How can I help you? The package you are supposed to deliver. Also, your master is probably looking for you. My mentor sent you to find me, and you brought the parts he ordered? You have well and truly caught me slacking. Not to judge at a glance, but you're not from around here, are you? Would you happen to know anything about the dirigibles? I did build one, I suppose? In the XIV quest? You've built one? Dear gods, I didn't realize I was in the presence of a certified expert. Please, you simply must tell me all about it. I've only just started my apprenticeship, but my dream is to one day cross the sea in a balloon of my own making. Naturally, my first destination will be Old Charlie, where the great Connor learned so much of what he knows. What a journey it would be. There I go then. The moment my thought turns to daydreams, I find myself here at the harbor. But that's enough time wasted. I better take these parts back to the dirigible landing. Yeah, we built an airship, a dirigible airship, in the XIV tribal quests in Rameborn back then. You're back. My trainee got here just ahead of you. Now, what's this I hear about the two of you having a heart-to-heart at the harbor? He wants to cross the sea in his own craft. Good for him, I say. A boy his age ought to dream big. The technology the Second Promise brought home to Tulliyolal has sparked new ideas among the youth, like nothing I've ever seen. Mark my words, they'll do great things for this country one day. Me? I've got my claws full keeping these dirigibles up and running. If the next generation has my support, nothing would make me prouder than to watch them soar to ever greater heights. Ha! Great, now you've got me waxing all sentimental. Something in the fumes, perhaps. Take your award and run along before I embarrass myself, would you? Good. And Drum Major. For whom the drum beats. Breathtaking, isn't it? I bet it would be hard-pressed to find a more majestic drum anywhere. Alas, exposed as it is to the elements, it requires a lot of upkeep, which is where we of the fife and drum corps come in. Speaking of which, what's taking him so long? Say, you strike me as the dependable sort, but I trouble you to find our new recruit. He was tasked with handling today's inspection. Given how long it's taking, it's possible he ran into trouble, but I'm supposed to supervise things here. Check behind the tower and you should find him. Yeah, that is the drum. Drummer? Can I help you? Wait, the drum major sent you. God speak out, I've wasted too much time. I've already finished checking the drum and the tower, mind you, but I just had to go and drop my tools and now I can't find them. Will you help me look? I could really use a second pair of eyes right now. There's something. Any luck? Oh, I'm so glad you found them. You're a lifesaver truly. If I dared to report back without them, the Major would have grilled me to a fine char. With that settled, I really must return to my other duties. I'd be most grateful if you could inform the Major on my behalf. There you are. I'm told you helped our recruit find the inspection kit after we dropped it. Your generosity means more to our community than you might realize. The drum is essential for the protection and well-being of our people. It not only marks the time of day, but also honors the Lance Guard returning home from duty. And in times of crisis, it can be used to warn the populace of danger. That is why we must keep it in pristine condition at all times. But of course, our most common duty as a fife and drum corps is to perform as a musical ensemble. It takes tremendous upper arm strength to beat a drum of this scale, and as Major, my job is to pound our greenest recruits into shape. Perhaps I've been slacking. Before I forget, take this, you've earned it. So they kind of used it like a church bell was used back in the day? Okay, and the precocious Mamool jar. Painter on the hill. Hey lady, will you help me? Earlier today I got a pretty painting of a city from a Shatona painter. I showed it to my mom and she really liked it. And she sent me to deliver this fruit as a thank you gift. But now the painter isn't here anymore and I don't know what to do. Could you help me look around? Sure. Yay! Okay, so the painter was going to make one more picture. Like this. From pretty high up. Which means wherever we can see this view, that's where we find him. Let's go find that painter. The picture shows the rooftops and harbor from above, so it must have been taken from somewhere up high. Okay. Now, Here we will just see the houses. Probably even higher. A battle? No. So up there maybe? But I'm already out of range. God, where is the person? Greetings, traveler. Oh, and I see you've brought the little Mamool from earlier. I was looking all over for you. My mom said to give you this as thank you for your pretty painting. You came all this way just to thank me with a snack? You're far too kind, little one. It was little more than a doodle, and I was rewarded enough by the smile on your face. I take it you're her chaperone then? Thank you for looking out for her. Oh, the pleasure's been all mine. This town has a special place in my heart. We should honor our long-lived people, and I have a good fortune of watching the community sprout up from nothing. I used to think this country would never amount to much, but seeing all these vibrant colors thriving along one another in harmony, I wish to immortalize its beauty with what talent yet remains to me. You must really love Tulliyolal, huh? Well, don't worry, me and my mom are going to love your painting forever and ever. It is an honor, little one. Now then, seeing as I've finished my current painting, I think it's time I found a new vista to admire. Hope to see you around, friends. I never really thought about how pretty our town is. I feel like I learned something today. Thanks again for helping me find the painter lady. I'm gonna take good care of his picture, but I will. But before you go, here, this is for you. A shrimp cocktail. Good, and that's it already. Almost forgot one. Landsguard. The many multitudes of Mamool. Ah, one of Wuklamat's companions. Say, could I trouble you to go and fetch someone for me? It's time for patrol, my partner's nowhere to be seen. I handled it myself, but I couldn't miss his arrival there to leave my post. Knowing him, he's lost in conversation somewhere in Brightbloom Post. Just look for a Bunawar with big eyes and dark blue scales. When you find him, tell him his partner is waiting for him. Menacing Mamool. Patrol, friend, I don't know who you mistake me for, but I just finished my shift. Do I look like some Moonlight Bunawar to you? Clearly I'm a Doppro. Are you a Bunawar? No. Right? Said blue skin, so... Could fit? Patrol partner. Yes, I'm the one he's looking for. Don't know why he's always so needlessly punctual, but there's in fact still a few minutes before our shift. Then again, patience has never been a strong suit. In any case, thank you for letting me know. I suppose I'd over early, just to be nice. Welcome back. My partner here let me know you sent him. Didn't I see you talking to another Mamool before you found me? Suppose we all look alike to you people from across the salt. But appearances aren't everything, of course. With our superior arcane ability, we of the Boonavar tribe are typically employed as mages or palaciers. As for the Hubigo, they're more likely to excel in feats of athleticism. The Dorpro, meanwhile, are renowned for their skill at beast handling. You can see one tending to a wyver right over there. Speaking of which, perhaps I should tell you about... that's enough. Sorry about him. My friend, he can never remember when to hold his tongue. Thanks again for your help. We've wasted enough time here. Onward to our patrol. Have fun, you too. I mean, it was nice and all. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where we relatively recently, I think, did the Tulliyolal quests we did before we finished the coronation ceremony. This time, I'm finished with the Dawn Trail base MSQ, and a lot more new quests showed up in Tulliyolal, and today we do those. I don't know if I cut them together yet or not. Either way, we begin here with a dutiful deckhand and of crates and correspondence. Look, Sibilja, I know you're waiting on a letter from your son, but I'm asking that you cut me a little slack. True enough, we picked up a letter from your son back in Eorzea, but with over heave-ho here in the city, our cargo ended up all over the place. I know we take stock of things. There's no telling where it might be. Oh, I see. Well, please do come and find me if that letter turns up. I live over in the Resplendent Quarter. Am I right in thinking you're an adventurer from Eorzea? Apologies about all that just now. I tell you, never thought I'd end up running into so much trouble right after dropping anchor. Say, reckon you could help me fetch in the last few supply crates that got waylaid in all the trouble? I tell you, I'd rather sail straight into the howling gale than see a mother fretting over a son like that. If you help gather the crates, I can get to searching for that letter. Okay. Looks like only crates are present and accounted for. Much obliged. Right, I've got myself a letter to find. Your crates? I got them here in my back pocket. At least that was the animation just now. Sibilja, was it? I never find the bleeding letter. Hold on. What's this here? Never thought I'd find the damn thing so quick. She said she lived in the Resplendent Quarter, didn't she? I hate to ask, but would you mind taking this letter to Sibilja for me? Sure. Oh, you're that woman from earlier, yes? I brought you your letter. You found it! This came all the way from my son Latulja in Eorzea. Latulja? My son became acquainted with an Eorzean mage who was visiting Tural. They ended up traveling back to Eorzea together. Apparently wanted to promote the blue magic techniques they'd learned from Valaki or some such. Latulja has always been very good about keeping in touch, but with everything that's happened of late, I couldn't help but assume the worst. You can't imagine what relief it was laying eyes on that letter just now. I do hope he's eating well, though. I wonder if they have cornbread in Eorzea. It's always been his favorite. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like a moment alone to read my son's letter. Please give my thanks to the deckhand. Was it honestly one of Martin's followers there? I don't remember their name, sorry. They had such a minor role in that quest line. They're ultimately just vendors. You got that letter over to the Bilja, did you? Like I said, you hate to see someone worrying for their loved ones. Glad we could put your mind at ease. Most Mamool that head for Eorzea end up as mercenaries. Imagine there's a fair few that say and never get word back home. Seems like all the Bilja's son was a decent lad though. I tell you, all this has got me pining for me family. Left them back in Limsa, you see? But there's time for dilly-dallying. Not when there's work want doing. Thanks for your help, adventure. Good. Now, determined naturalist. Well, I never. To think I'd run into you and Tulliyolal of all places. I'm from the studio's faculty of biology. I've seen you before, back in Old Charlian. Ah, that reminds me. You'll have to forgive the impertinence, but that just so happens to be a matter I could use your help with. I'm researching Turali ecosystems, and I'm currently on the hunt for one creature in particular. I've barely set foot on land before I made my discovery. Alas, as I was trying to secure the specimen for study, it got away from me. It has a somewhat peculiar cry, to say the least. The creature itself is covered in tawny brown fur, and is rather small in stature. The strangest thing is, I asked some of the locals whether they had heard of such an animal, and they seemed quite baffled. You don't happen to know of a creature I speak of, do you? Sounds like a giant beaver to me. Giant, you say? I should very much like to behold such grandeur with my own eyes. I shall conduct an extensive search of a port, which is where I first saw the creature. Might I ask you to search the high ground, the residential district known as the Resplendent Quarter? Sure. Squeal! The vocal vermin and his companions seem willing to follow you. We prepare back to the determined naturalist at High Tide Harbor. Brilliant! Simply brilliant! Not one but two! I only spotted a single specimen earlier. Little did I think there'd be another lurking nearby. Squeal, squeal, squeal! They both seem remarkably docile. What a marvelous stroke of luck to be reunited with my quarry so quickly. This rather vindicates my decision to travel all this way. Recently, my fellow researchers and I have been vying for a tenured position within the faculty. This discovery is exactly what I need to give me the upper hand during the selection process. Suffice it to say, I'll be keeping a close eye on these two and tending to them with the utmost care. I can't wait to conduct a thorough study. Squeal, squeal! Alright. Okay, Savvy Stable Master. Desiree, isn't it? I've heard all about your affinity with the alpacas. My cousin works at the ranch at Vachimpello. He was practically gushing. As it so happens, I have need of your talents. Some of the herds escaped during the attack on the city the other day. I managed to round up most of them, but we're still too short. They haven't been seen leaving via the gates, so I think it's safe to assume they're hiding somewhere in the city walls. So, how about it? Can I ask you to round up those last two stragglers? I can do that. Thank you. Oh, and I'm sure I don't need to tell you, but despite being trained as mounts, alpacas are easily rattled. If you come across our stragglers, make sure you soothe them first. Got that? No sudden movements. In your haste, you find yourself on the receiving end of a glistening gob of alpaca spit. Be sure to soothe the animal before approaching. Hey, calm down, little alpaca. Time to go home. The suitably soothed animal makes its way nonchalantly back to the alpaca stables. Soothe. Back to the stables. Thank you, the two stragglers arrived safe and sound a little while ago. I recognize that smell. Let me guess, you ignored my advice and got rewarded with a face full of alpaca spit? I hope you learned your lesson. That stink will be with you for a few days yet. Ugh. Oh well. These alpacas are direct descendants of a mount the Pelopello presented as a sign of friendship when Tulliyolal was founded. I'm sure you've heard the tale of Gulul Jaja catching a golden alpaca? Well, these creatures we gifted were sired by that shiny beast itself. To say they had quite a pedigree would be a gross undervaluation. And you can be sure that their legacy survives today. And these beasts are fleet of foot and strong of limb, just like their ancestor. If you ever have need of a mount, you could do far worse than a Tulliyolal alpaca. Right, I should tend to the two that you so kindly brought back. I appreciate all that help. Good. Then... Kolalja. You're one of our Vuklamat's entourage, yes? How fortuitous. I happen to have a small request for you. I understand that in Eorze you have an organization called the Adventurers Guild. For some time now, the Wing of Reflection has been deliberating on whether to introduce a similar organization here. The issue is all the more pressing in light of recent events. If the city were to come under attack again, the landscape alone may be unable to cope. But before we proceed, we wish to canvass the people of Tulliyolal. I hear that guilds are often based in locales where residents gather, taverns and eateries and such. I believe Chevalier is a close approximation. I would ask that you visit Chevalier to discuss the matter with Brook Evu and seek his permission to conduct a survey among the patrons. Okay. And you say this Adventurers Guild would look to assemble here at Chevalier. Well, we've been getting more foreign patrons of late, and they do seem to struggle when it comes to finding guides and swords for hire. I suppose this place would be ideal for putting travelers in touch with mercenaries and what have you. Still, you might have a hard time convincing the patrons that they'd benefit from this guild you speak of. Anyway, if you feel to mingle, just don't make it sound like the palace has already committed to the idea, okay? Tonakwe. What need do we have for an organization like that? Bavukla Mat has our interests close at heart. Why, she's often in here listening to our troubles. Besides, Brook Evo already works hard to make Chevalier a welcoming place for all, farm visitors included. I'd be more than happy dealing with adventurers if they were all like you. But if a place was suddenly flooded with boorish sellswords, that's another thing entirely. I'm not looking to tar you all with the same brush, but you know how some of their ilk behave. Gazing out the beach, sipping on a glass of something sweet and refreshing, that's what Chevalier is all about. May it never change. Shashte. So, adventurers will set up shop at Chevalier. Well, that means us regular folk can find people willing to solve our problems, I'd be all for it. Soralja never seemed to care much about our plight. You could plead all you like, but the Landsguard would rarely get involved. Then again, we've already got the Wing of Protection and Wing of Reflection. You'd likely be better served getting the institutions we do have to play their part before we try anything else. Well, they were not generally against it, but at least skeptical of its value, and also if this would not divert resources from more important things. You spoke with the patrons, yes? Thank you. What do the people of Tulliyolal have to say about the notion of an adventurers guild? I see. You say some patrons don't welcome the influx of people willing to aid them, but others were wary of welcoming unsavory characters to XIV? A rather more lukewarm response than I'd hoped for. It seems that first and foremost there's room for improvement with our current institutions. Besides, the patrons sound rather attached to the XIV they know and love. I have no doubt that an adventurers guild would flourish here in Tural, if only the concept were more familiar. Nevertheless, I fear time is not yet ripe for such discussions. Introducing the guild without the necessary groundwork would likely prove counterproductive. For the time being, our colleagues and I will continue our deliberations. Thank you for your assistance, adventurer. Good. Nostalgic attendant, huh? Oh god. No, when I do this later. Tapipia. Mulch ado about nothing. Well met, traveler. Couldn't help but notice you staring at my crops there. Dabble in a bit of sowing and growing yourself. How about running a quick errand for me? By way of thanks, I'll share some of the know-how we local farmers have cultivated over the years. Right, it all starts with compost, and that's where you come in. I need your help getting a hold of the makings that go into the mulch, and you can't go wrong with alpaca manure. Ugh. No need to look so worried. I'll get the dung delivered from the alpaca stables later. What I want you to do is go around and collect vegetable scraps for me. I've got an arrangement with some of the eateries here in Tulliyolal, you see? I need you to pay a visit to XIV and Auntie's Tacos. Think you can do that for me? That I can do. Tiso. Tabby P.S. after his vegetable scraps, is he? Say no more. To make a decent taco, you can't cut corners when it comes to meat and spices, but vegetables are just as vital. Mine are packed full of the best produce you can get, and all of it's grown by Tapipia himself. The business owners have to look out for one another after all. Did Tapipia send you? I made sure to set aside all the scraps and peelings you need. They're yours for the taking. Of course, there's plenty of traders selling vegetables at Bayside Bevy, but being able to source our produce straight from seafoam fields is a real boon for us. Doesn't come much pressure in that, I tell you. Oh, back with my scraps, are you? Much obliged. Now, with a little heat and time, these odds and ends will make a fine compost. But that's not all they're good for. Spread them straight onto the soil and then make for decent fertilizer in a pinch. That's what folk used to do in the olden days anyhow. But then the head of Reese and his companions got to putting their knowledge of plants and what's not to use, sowing the seeds of the composting techniques we use today. I named this farm Seafoam Fields for good reason. That salty ocean air brings with it plenty of minerals which help our plants thrive. All it takes beyond is a bit of compost to bring out the best in the soil. With all these scraps, I should be set for a good while. I appreciate the help, traveler. For what it's worth, I hope you learned a thing or two from all my prattling on. That leaves one quest. Good nostalgic attendant. Should you choose to undertake this quest, know that guidance from a journal, duty list, and map will be limited. You need to read carefully. I recognize you from the Third Promise's entourage. You have my wholehearted thanks for taking part in the rite of succession. I myself am an attendant to the Dawn's Promise. Yes, perhaps I can entrust this to you. The riddle inside that envelope was penned by the Second Promise himself. It's the first part of a treasure hunt he devised for his sister. As I recall, she managed to solve the initial riddle, but gave up soon after that. I gave her the clues were a little too challenging. In time we forgot all about it. Anyway, I was tidying up my quarters the other day and stumbled across that envelope. The treasure should still lie within the city. If you're keen for a bit of sport, perhaps you'd like to try and decipher the Second Promise's words? The first riddle I gave you will point you in the right direction. Okay, what's written? First riddle. A great hall rests upon buried shells of old. The palm trees tower over sands gleaming gold. So maybe Shibboleth left here? Right at the beach? What am I supposed to do with a quest exactly? So when I find this. There's something. You found the second riddle. Refer back to it as necessary to find the designated location. Weathered planks creak quietly guiding the way to a verdant bed of green washed with sea spray. Bed of green. Could that be the farm we just were here? Seafoam Fields? No, it doesn't fit the planks, I think. Wait, forward cabins. Back there, at the end of a walkway. There, I think was a little... I don't want to call it garden, but... There. You found a final riddle. A thoroughfare worn smooth speaks of journeys come to end, reason and resolve set in stone, with duty content. So the passage with the pictures we visited early in the story, right? That could be. It's a thoroughfare? The main road where the statues are standing, and these depict the path the Dawn Servant took, and you sure it's not here somewhere? It is here. Just couldn't find it. You have found a green imitation ring. Report your success to the nostalgic attendant at XIV Plaza. Welcome back. How did you fare? This brings back memories. Many moons ago, the second promise let me accompany him to base at Bevy. The thought of shopping alone seemed to unnerve him. Anyway, this is what he bought that day. He was incredibly fond of his sister. When she begged him to come up with his treasure hunt, he was more than happy to oblige. And now they support one another as they strive for their ideals on behalf of Tulliyolal's future. Yes, I dare say this nation's in safe hands. If I get the opportunity, I shall deliver this ring to the second promise. I can't help but wonder how he'd present it to its sister after all these years. And with that, I take my leave. Thank you for unearthing this slumbering treasure, and the memories that came with it. Good. But that shall be it for this episode. Probably in itself alone, if I look at the time, though I might cut it down, and if it fits together with the first part of Tulliyolal episodes, I might cut it together. We'll see. Anyway, until next time, I'm Mace, and don't get lost.